Good morning, Miss. First of all, I would like to thank you for participating in this interview, which is based on teachers' reactions to curriculum change in social studies. At this time, I would like to kindly ask you to introduce yourself for our listeners.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a year one teacher.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, Miss, would you be able to say how long have you been in the teaching profession?
I've been in the teaching profession for about 3 years now.
Okay, that's great. So, Miss Carol, after being in the teaching profession for that long, would you be able to say what are some changes you have observed in the social studies curriculum in relation to whether the content, methods, resources, or the assessments?
The changes I've observed in the social studies curriculum are mostly the method area and the resource area. For the method, it's mostly a shift from the rote memorization to inquiry-based learning and discovery. For resources, it's mostly the increase to the use of technology and locally sourced materials like recycled items for projects.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, thank you, Miss. Okay, Miss, in your opinion, how have teaching methods or learning activities has changed?
For activities are now more student-led. Instead of a teacher lecturing, students now engage in group work. They can role play, they can have field-based observation, and it is also a greater integration of learning through play, even into the primary levels and early childhood levels.
Okay, that is very good. Thank you so much. Okay, we're moving on to our next question. So, what are your views on the new assessment strategies used in the renewed curriculum?
For me, my views is they provide a more holistic view of a child's progress and they assess them through projects and classroom participation. We get a better sense of their social and critical thinking skills. And it's a lot of record keeping, but we observe them on a daily basis.
All right, and with all of that being said, in your opinion, is the content relevant?
In my opinion, the content is, yes, it's very relevant, and the curriculum now focuses heavily on the local context into mostly Guyanese history, the social structures, environmental issues. So it's more applicable to the students' daily life and it fosters a stronger sense of national identity.
Okay, wonderful. And are the teaching strategies appropriate? If they are, can you just shed a little light on that, please?
For me, I would say I strongly agree with them. It's appropriate. And a little explanation on my end would be it's more of a shift from passive lecturing to active. It's more discovery, inquiry based for young learners, and it allows them to role play, community based project, involve them in most peer discussion, and it develops their critical thinking and social skills.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss. So, with all that being said, do you think that the assessment strategies used in the renewed curriculum are appropriate?
For me, I would strongly agree that it is appropriate, and a little explanation would be continuous assessment and performance based tasks provide more of an accurate reflection of the student's ability. It allows for early intervention and recognizes diverse learning styles by looking at projects and classroom participation.
Okay, that's great. Have you received any training for the new curriculum?
Yes, we've received training for the renewed curriculum. Um, for me, the regular participation in like the workshops, our cluster workshop, gives us a little idea of how we can go about with the new curriculum. And having access to digital resource and field collaboration has boosted my confidence in implementing these new strategies effectively.
Okay, wonderful. So, with the training that you have received, would you say that you are fully prepared to deliver an effective social studies lesson? to your learners in the classroom?
For me, I would say I am not going to say I'm fully prepared, but I am a little more confident because for now we have our social studies is now the PSCR, and I am now able and prepared more to deliver a lesson in PSCR. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful, Miss. So, have you received any resistance since the new social studies curriculum has taken effect? There we go.
For me, I've received a little bit of form of resistance, yes, and I would say it's moving away from a traditional textbook, and it required more of a student lesson. And we have also received a negative feedback from parents who are accustomed to the traditional system.
Okay, Miss, yes, I totally understand. All right, so moving on, what do you think is the reason for some of those resistance?
I would say one of the reasons is an increased workload. The new method requires more preparation and more creative resource gathering. And for the resource gap, sometimes the new curriculum is introduced before all classrooms have the necessary physical resources to implement it fully.
Okay, great. And what do you think are the benefits of the new social studies curriculum? As we know, it is now PSCR instead of saying social studies at the nursery level, but it's the same concept. So, what do you think are the benefits of this?
I would say a major benefit of it is students are more engaged because they see themselves in the lessons, they role play. It fosters a great sense of national identity and it encourages critical thinking early on.
Wow, that is very good, Miss. Okay, thank you so much. And with all of this being said, what do you think are the challenges experienced in delivering the social studies curriculum?
For me, the primary challenge is the time management. For PSCR, I say we have a little time to go into the topic deeply or to explain more and to balance our interactive activities with the demands of the school year. Also, finding enough varied local resources can be very difficult.
Yes, I truly agree with you because finding local materials are indeed very challenging. Mm. Okay, so with that, what are some suggestions for improvement? How can we improve the social studies curriculum, especially at the nursery level?
For me, at the nursery level, I would say for me it would be providing teachers with those resource kits that we used to get. I think it was the black and blue, the big cover bins we no longer get, but if we were able to get some of those, it would help us. It was reduce a lot in searching for materials to work with, and a greater focus on more of mental health and support for educators as we transition through these major systematic change.
Okay, Miss, thank you very much. I would like to thank you for your time in participating in our little interview, and thank you for your service as a teacher, and I hope that you continue your good work in your field. Good afternoon, Miss. First of all, I would like to thank you for participating in this interview, which is based on teachers' reaction to curriculum change focused on social studies, the social studies curriculum. At this time, I would like to ask you to please introduce yourself for our listeners.
Good day, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you, Miss Joan, for being a part of your interview. I am a year two teacher in the early childhood level. I must say that I have been a teacher for the past 16 years.
Okay, Miss, that's wonderful. Now, in your opinion, what changes have you observed in a social studies curriculum in relation to its contents, methods, or resources, or the type of assessment used?
I must say that the curriculum is more child-centered and practical. Children can now better relate to the topics.
Okay, that's wonderful. have teaching methods or learning activities changed?
It is more play based. Like I said before, it is more child centered. The learners are more actively involved in the learning process.
Okay, great. And what are your views on the new assessment strategies used in the early childhood level for social studies?
Well, the continuous assessment strategy guide teachers in planning so that they can build on learners' strength and work with them on their weaknesses. It also provides feedback on the effectiveness of the teaching methods or strategies used.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss. And with that being said, in your opinion, is the content relevant?
Very. It is closely related to the learner's everyday life, their environment, and experiences they can relate to.
Okay, great. And are the teaching strategies appropriate? If so, would you be able to shed a little light on that for me, please?
Well, I agree. The teaching strategies are appropriate. In most cases, the teaching strategies are relevant by providing opportunities where learners can have first-hand experiences. They can explore. Learning is taking place in a fun and interesting manner.
Okay, awesome. And are the assessment strategies used? Do you think they are appropriate?
Well, I strongly disagree because the assessment is continuous and the observation based. It allows teacher to evaluate learners over an extended period rather than making a one-time judgment.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss. So, since the new curriculum has taken effect, have you received any type of training?
Yes, well, I have been to workshops a few times.
Okay, and with going to the workshops and so on, do you feel prepared?
Yes, I do feel prepared. I feel that I'm now equipped with the knowledge to better deliver to our learners.
Okay, that's great. Have you observed any resistance in the new curriculum?
No.
Okay, great. What are some challenges you have experienced since the new curriculum has taken effect?
All right. One of okay, well, we have a few challenges, and we have like challenges like classroom space, full parental support, and timely supply of resources.
Okay, that's understandable. What are the benefits of the new curriculum?
All right, it promotes holistic development of the learners. It provides opportunity for active learning, and learners can relate.
So, Miss, with all of that being said, right, what do you think are some suggestions for improvement? What do you suggest?
All right, we can make recommendation to persons in authority for classroom spaces, bigger classroom spaces.
Okay, thank you so much. Miss, I would like to extend my gratitude to you for your participation in this interview. And I hope that you continue to do the good job that you're doing for our young learners. Thank you so much.
What is your name?
Elizabeth Wilson,
Gender?
female,
Grade taught.
nursery,
Years of teaching experience.
one to 5 years.
What changes have you observed in the social studies curriculum? That is with the content, the methods, the resources, and the assessments.
Um, It's being, positive. If I don't last. The content is a more integrated with real world issues. When it comes to the method, it have a more transitioning from teacher-centered lecture to a student-centered discovery. And when it comes to the resources, it includes now digital media and local primary sources, while assessments have moved towards continuous performance-based tasks and rather than just an end of term exam.
How have teaching methods or learning activities changed?
It significantly increased. Activity now includes role plays, field research, and group projects that utilize the CRA framework.
What are your views on the new assessment strategies?
They allow for a better understanding of a child's progress by using the rubric and portfolio. It is much more effective for identifying a specific learning gap compared to the traditional multi-choice testing.
Is the content relevant?
Yeah, very. The content is deeply rooted in local content and contemporary social issue, making it more relatable for the students and easier to link to their daily lives.
What would you say are your teaching strategies appropriate? Do you strongly agree? You disagree? Neutral? Agree? Or you strongly agree?
Strongly agree.
Explain.
The strategies prioritize a play-based and a inquiry-based learning, which aligns perfectly with the developmental stage of early childhood.
Are assessment strategies appropriate? Do you strongly agree, disagree, neutral, or strongly agree?
Agree.
Are assessment strategies appropriate? Do you strongly agree, disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree?
Agree.
Explain.
They provide a more accurate picture of students rather than just, the ability to memorize the facts.
Have you received training? Yes, no, or maybe?
Yes.
Type of training?
Training from Surfata College of Education.
And do you feel prepared?
Yes.
Okay, explain please.
The training provides a clear guideline on using new resources and theoretical background needs to implement the activity effectively.
Have you observed resistance?
Yes.
What form?
Hesitation from the old educators to move from traditional, which is chalk and talk method, and concerns from the parents about the lack of traditional heavy testing.
And what are the reasons for the resistance?
Lack of familiarity with the new digital tools, the increased time required for lesson planning under the new framework, and a general comfort with the old ways of doing things.
And what are the benefits of the new curriculum?
It fosters critical thinking, promotes a more local culture, and accommodates different learning styles.
What are the challenges experienced?
Limited access. So high-speed internet for digital resources. Yeah.
And what are some of suggestions for improvement?
Provide a more ready-made digital template for teacher. Host more frequent clusters meeting to to show the best practice and increase the budget for physical classroom resources like maps and cultural artifacts.
And do you agree with recording? Yes,
Yes.
no, maybe.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Good afternoon, miss.
Good afternoon.
I have a question here for you to answer, and it's based on the social studies curriculum. It's only 15 questions you have to answer.
Okay.
And the first one will begin by asking you your name
My name is Althea Stevens.
and your gender,
I am a female.
grade taught. Is it nursery or primary?
Nursery.
Years of teaching experience, 1 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, 11 to 15 years, 15 to 20 years, or other.
1 to 5.
What changes have you observed in the social studies curriculum? That is with the content, the methods, the resources, and the assessment.
Okay, it is more focused on real life topics, the learner's participation and continuous assessment.
Second question. How have teaching methods or learning activities changed?
Okay, so the lessons are more interactive with group work and discussion along with activities.
The third question. What are your views on the new assessment strategies?
Okay, well, the new assessment strategies are more practical and help track students' progress better.
Okay. Fourth question. Is the content relevant? Very, somewhat, or not?
Very.
Explain, please.
Okay, so the content relates well to learners' everyday life and experience.
Fifth question. Are teaching strategies appropriate? Do you strongly disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree?
Agree.
Explain.
Because they support active learning and student engagement.
Sixth question. Are assessment strategies appropriate? Do you strongly disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree?
Agree.
Explain again, please.
They allow continuous evaluation and better understanding of learners.
Next question. Have you received training?
Yes.
What type of training?
We went to workshops.
And do you feel prepared?
Yes.
Explain again, please, if you don't mind.
The training and resources provided helps me feel a bit more confident.
And have you observed resistance? Yes. What form of resistance?
Lack of understanding, reluctance to change, and limited resources.
And what are the reasons for the resistance?
I would think insufficient training, the workload, and the familiar methods.
What are the benefits of the new curriculum?
A benefit is that it improves critical thinking, engagement, and real-world understanding.
Okay. And what are the challenges experienced?
Limited resources, time constraints, and needs for more training.
And what are some suggestions for improvement?
Okay, suggestion I would give is provide more training, provide more resource, and ongoing support for teachers.
And our final question is, do you agree with the recording?
Well, we're doing the recording, so yes, I agree.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and your answers.
You're welcome.
I will be conducting a little interview with 2 teachers from my school. And the title is Teachers' Reaction to Curriculum Change in Social Studies. The gender of the teacher is a female. Grade taught. What grade are you teaching?
Primary.
She's teaching the primary level. Question as it is, yeah. Today I'll be conducting an interview with two teachers. The first one is a female, and the grade taught is primary level. Now I'm going to go into my first question, asking, how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching the primary level for 6 years.
Okay. What changes have you observed in the social studies curriculum?
In the social studies curriculum, I've observed contents are all over the place.
Okay. How have teaching methods and learning activity changed?
Teaching methods and learning activities have changed from more than you're just writing notes on the blackboard, so now it's a fun something where the children would learn even better, because they say children learn mostly through playing. So it has changed from being a seriousness in the classroom to now it's an interactive thing between teachers and pupils.
Okay. What are your views on the new assessment strategy?
My views on the new assessment strategies is that it's still not diverse enough for each child.
Okay. Next question is the content relevant?
The content, it's somewhat relevant. Still has some, some changes or so to be made, but it's
Okay. Are teaching strategies appropriate?
I would, yes, the teaching strategies that now, yes, they are appropriate for the children, because you would have seen some changes within the classrooms.
Okay, can you explain a little more for me?
Social studies is supposed to be a fun subject and not just chalk and talk.
Okay. Are assessment strategy appropriate?
The assessment strategies, it's neutral. It's neutral.
Okay. Have you received any training?
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you feel prepared about the curriculum?
Maybe. Sometimes you say yes, sometimes you say no. So maybe.
Okay. How have you observed any resistance to the curriculum?
Yes, I have.
What forms of resistance have you observed?
Well, to not teach certain topics.
Okay. What are the reasons for the resistance?
Teachers are not equipped with the necessary training in delivering social studies content.
Okay, thank you. What are the benefits of the new curriculum?
The benefits of the new curriculum is that we have a wide variety of topics.
Okay. What are the challenges experienced?
Challenges experience. Teacher peer teaching. I would say teacher peer teaching.
Okay. What are some suggestions for improvement?
Some suggestions for improvement would be teacher training. Training Yeah, teacher training, like more workshops.
Okay. All right. So the last question was, do you agree to the recording? And you said yes. So, thank you for participating in my little interview. Good afternoon. Today I will be conducting a little interview with you based on the title Teachers' Reaction to Curriculum Change in Social Studies. What is your gender?
Female,
The grade taught?
nursery level,
Okay. Years of teaching experience?
over 25 years.
Okay. All right. So our first question states, what changes have you observed in the social studies curriculum?
The curriculum has moved from being teacher-centered to child-centered, which makes the method different and catering for differentiation and project-based learning.
Okay, thank you. How have teaching methods, learning activity changed?
The activities are more collaborative and technologically driven. Students are engaged in more structured activities where they have to work together.
Okay. What are your views on the new assessment strategy?
My views are that it allows a more holistic view of student progress because it focuses on competence over content, even though it's time consuming.
Okay. Is the content relevant?
Yes, it is relevant.
Can you explain for me?
The content exposes students to real world challenges where they can make connections.
Okay, thank you. Are teaching strategies appropriate?
Strongly agree.
Can you explain for me?
It emphasizes critical thinking and empathy that is needed in subject area. However, for it to be effective, there must be adequate classroom resources.
Okay, thank you. All right. Are assessment strategy appropriate?
Strongly agree.
Can you explain for me a little?
Performance-based assessment better prepares students for real-world tasks, but there is a need for a balance in standardized testing to ensure foundational knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Have you received any training?
Yes, I have.
What type of training?
Professional development workshops.
Okay. Do you feel prepared?
Yes,
Can you explain for me?
I understand the theory behind the new curriculum, where it have more ready-to-use resources and more time for collaborative planning, which would increase my confidence.
Okay, thank you. Have you observed resistance?
Yes,
What form of resistance?
skepticism during meetings from teachers about concern about some topics in the curriculum. Also, non-compliance from teachers who continue using the old lesson plan.
Okay. What are the reasons for the resistance?
The reasons would be fatigue, lack of time to learn new system, or fear of moving away from traditional.
Okay, thank you. What are the benefits of the new curriculum?
The benefits is that it fosters higher thinking and makes the subject matter feel more alive for students, increasing engagement and participation.
What are the challenges experienced?
I would say the challenges experienced is a lack of physical resources like textbooks.
What are some suggestions for improvement?
Increased funding for classroom technology and field experiences, and more professional learning workshops.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I do.